It is January 20. This is a video to show how the work that the contractors did still isn't finished. So starting off with this baseboard going all the way along, this was never supposed to be painted white. It was supposed to be left with a wooden color. Right there at the end you can still see that there's damage on the sheetrock. They left their equipment here. This has not been moved. This is their painting equipment, which is just left in the middle of the floor. Dust is still everywhere. There's paint on some of this clothes. Doubt this rack must have been left here when they were doing their painting. As you can see, there's paint dust on all the clothes. Well, let's see. They never put the cover back onto the air vent. No cover on this air vent. I think the kitchen is mostly fine. They didn't put the face plates on the electrical sockets. Simple things, but they're supposed to be finished, not finished. There is no baseboard, but that's because that was not part of the scope of the construction. This was supposed to be left open, but they closed it in, but they only closed it in on one side, so they did it halfway to where there's still plenty of things that could go underneath there. All of this is as they left, because they moved everything off the wall so they could paint. I'll show that in a second. This side here was also closed and painted, which was supposed to be left open. Again, they decided to paint one side but not the other. Vent left open. This hole, they didn't buy the cover to close this. Same thing with that hole down there, they didn't buy the cover to close it. The wood on all of this was not supposed to be painted white, so that needs to be fixed. All of that wood needs to be fixed. You can see from here how the wall, definitely not professionally finished, the wall joint is very visible on both sides. So I'm gonna have to have that redone, at least remudded. They did do the closet, and that's what the closet looks like. It is acceptable. They did not finish painting though. As you can see, the bottom half of the closet was never painted. They only painted most of it. They stopped painting there as well. Yeah, this in here is still visible too, this line. And also, this line is also very visible. The wood on that was supposed to not be white as well. And the finish on here is really poor. Just really bad work with that big gap in the back too. Let's see what else. And you can see this joint on this wall as well. Right here. So basically most of this room is gonna have to be redone for the joints and then repainted. And obviously they didn't finish painting here. Let me double check in here. There is no light in here, but I think, well, exception of the electrical plate not being plugged in or covered, they did no finish whatsoever on this wood. This is just, they didn't even paint, they didn't do anything. Obviously you need some sort of covering on there, which is just left not done. Same thing on this corner. That's just sheetrock right there. There's nothing to cover this. I essentially just put the door on and left it. So this here is probably not painted either. No, that is painted, they just didn't do anything on the back side of it. they need this framing thing around it. Yeah, I noticed that they had a hammer in here. Alright, moving on. This here was completely left open where my cats could have gone in. One of my cats could have died in there because in there is a furnace. So if my cat had gone in there and the furnace turned on, I probably would have lost the cat. So really mad about that. It left the white part outside, so we can see there's a bunch of rust in the meantime between me coming back from my trip. Even if this is gonna go there, that's obviously gonna be not there, or is gonna be needs to be fixed. Not sure what the hole here is for. Bathroom. The floor, which is gonna be hard to show this on a video, but the floor is not level. So here is level, and then right when you get up to the floor, maybe this way will show. Kinda. So this is level. There's an incline, and by the time you get here, you're much higher, to the point where it's actually like I almost feel like I'm losing my balance when I'm walking inside there. So right here where they meet, I don't know if I can show it. Well, it vibrates because this is just up in the air. You can see some of the things vibrating. When I do it here, nothing vibrates. But if you look at this, because there's a elevation and goes up and down. I think this gap is unacceptable. Also, they left the laminate. They should have removed the laminate. I'm not sure why they decided to leave the laminate. So this needs to come out. So they probably have to remove this to get the laminate out. Also, probably why the floor is elevated. The trim pieces that were originally there are not there. I cannot find them. So they might have thrown away the original trim pieces. As far as the trim that goes on the wall, that is not part of the scope, but the trim pieces around the furniture and the cabinets in the kitchen, they just lost it, because it's not like they had to buy it. They just removed it to remove the floor, never removed the floor, and then never put the trims back. Also, really bad paint job, I guess. Some of those are worse, but yeah, that's ish. As you can see, I have not been able to use my bathroom because I can't put this back on with the floor like that. I don't want the water going underneath the bathroom, underneath the floor. The finishing. This is how they decided to finish the floor. I did between this part and this part, anything beyond there is out of scope, but I'm not sure even if I were to cut the floor in a line, I think this part might be exposed because it's just not enough. And again, the laminate should have been removed. So I basically have to redo the entire flooring on the bathroom. Okay, what else? Oh, yeah. Up here in the corner, they added this piece. Used to be sheetrock, and which would be sheetrock this way, and sheetrock this way, meeting this. They replaced that piece of sheetrock with this wood, which is fine. But even as they installed it, if I take a shower in this, I'm going to get water in there, and it's going to cause more problems. So that needs to be fixed or replaced. I think that's it for the bathroom. When they were painting, they decided to paint over this thing here. It goes like that, and that holds the only light I have in the bathroom, which is a battery operated light. So they removed this piece, but they decided to paint right over by leaving this piece in there. So when I remove this piece, should be pretty clear to see that there's no, this is the original paint, and then they just painted over with this piece left on there. So I gotta touch that up, because that should have been white, because it's a white plastic piece, as that can shows. So there is a bunch of oil on the floor because they left my equipment, this chainsaw, flat on the ground, so a bunch of oil leaked. I have not cleaned it because it's something they needed to come by, and I don't want to make any changes until they get back. Hold on, Nate. Let's see. So this piece of wood is holding the cat tower vertical right now because they had all of my long piece of equipment leaning against the cat tree to the point where the cat tree is now like a leaning tower of Pisa. This is how the cat tree is supposed to be vertically, but once I remove this piece of wood, which is now supporting it, let's see what it looks like now. Actually, it's a little better now that there's no weight on it. It's still leaning a little bit. This should be vertical, so it's leaning a little bit. But if any of my cats get on it now, well, it's definitely a heck of a lot more wobbly now. There's still some things on there, but well, it was worse. It's better than it is now, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to have more than one cat on this thing. So let's put this back in case they do climb on here. Oops. Okay, so this wall, everything that you see is the stuff that they left. Paint mixer, I guess. The wall on that one, they just decided not to finish the wall. The job was to sheetrock the entire house, not just most of the house. So that needs to be redone. There's nothing back here. There's just a big hole back there that he painted over, I guess, and left the hole there. Same thing on that corner. Again, the wood, all of that was not supposed to be painted white, so I'm gonna have to get somebody to redo all of that. I think that is most of this place. Hey, Shadow. That's leftover. They left all my equipment here, which is kind of fine. This bedroom. Oh yeah, this floor right here. So right underneath where the sheetrock is. Hey, hold on. Gotta deal with my cats. Okay, so right underneath this sheetrock here. Right here. Yeah, there's something right underneath here. Even this seam is coming open because this part is lower than this part, so this is forcing at a point. But there's something right underneath here that when I walk, I'm not sure how to show that on camera, but there's something right here, maybe a screwdriver, maybe something that I can walk on one side and the other. Yeah. This is all loose because there's something here, so I'm gonna have to take that out to get that up. What else is? So this room they didn't finish painting, so they added another $250 charge to redo this wall because they said it was wet or something. So they found this out when they were painting when I was so I wasn't in town to be able to look at it. So they redid this sheetrock and this part, but obviously it's not painted, so they didn't finish painting here. And this last closet looks like it just didn't finish painting, I guess, at the bottom either. And this part here, also hasn't been done. Maybe they did a patch, looks like it, but not painted. Well, this was here from before I moved in, so they didn't paint this section at all, and you can easily see on the paint color. That's not lighting, that's definitely paint color. They might have painted the top part, because the top part kind of looks like it matches. Because they did do the stucco up here, so you can see there's white splotches from the stucco. This room is mostly fine. I'm pretty sure they did this part, and they definitely did these two parts. And I think that's it. If I remember anything else, I'll turn the video back on. But this is now January 20th, and the job is still not complete. And they have not returned my calls in over a week. Coming up to 2 weeks, they haven't returned my calls. Right, that's calling it now.